Hello, happy Tuesday. It is Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady. Today is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, where you can bring your questions about tax lien investing and tax deed investing here on my business page on Facebook, and I can answer them for you. So hopefully I can answer them for you, right? Um, so so what's going on with tax lien and tax deed investing right now? There is a lot. There are a lot of online tax lien sales going on in New Jersey. They will be ramping up over the next couple of months. We just got a lien. For the fund that I'm a manager for, just got a lien. And let me tell you, it's a very competitive situation in New Jersey, but we got a good lien at 18%. So that just goes to show you that you can still do it. And we only invest in a handful of the online tax sales. So if you're out there and you're wondering if you can do it with all the competition that is out there, yes, you can. You can do it. But here's the thing, you might have to go to a lot of tax sales, and you have to be specific about the type of properties that you invest in, and you have to put a lot of bids. We had a lot of bids in that sale. We might have had, I don't know, 12 bids in that sale and only got one, but we got one at 18%. Okay, and why were we able to get that lien at a good rate? Well, we got it at a good rate because there was one other bidder on the property, but they didn't have buying power. All right, and it was a proxy bid situation, which means we just bid either the lowest interest that we want to go or the highest premium that we want to pay, and then we'll get the lien at the best price or the best interest rate next to the next highest bidder or lowest interest bid. So here's what I mean by that. So let me give you the example. We bid 0% and we got the lien at 18%. There was another bidder that bid 6%, but they lost buying power. In other words, with some of these sales, you put a deposit for these online sales and they take that to be 10% of your budget. So once you live up to that budget, in other words, once you get enough bids that you're successful with and you use up your budget, then they don't let you buy anymore. So the other bidder lost their buying power, so we got it at 18%. Now, if they hadn't lost their buying power, we would have still got that lien, but we would have gotten it at 5%, 1% less than what they bid. Okay, that's how the proxy bidding situation works. I do have an article on my blog about proxy versus direct bidding. And you could search my blog at taxlieninvestingtips.com. That's the name of my blog. You could search my blog for articles on different topics. And so you could search my blog for proxy bidding to find out more about proxy bidding. Or online tax sales or buying tax liens online. If that's what you want to find out about, you could search my blog for different topics. Okay, what I want to tell you about today is we have our wealth building webinar is on a different day. It's the same time, it's 7 p.m. and usually it is on a Wednesday, okay? Usually it is on the second Wednesday of the month, which is next Wednesday, but I will be at the National Tax Lien Association Symposium next Wednesday down in South Carolina. So we're doing it a day early, and I have a special guest, a mystery guest that I call the Millionaire Maker, and I call him the Millionaire Maker because he takes people to millionaire status in as little as 6 months. So sign up for the webinar. You could go to taxlienlady.com/live free webinar registration to register to be on the wealth building webinar free, okay, to come live for free. Now, if you want the replay, you have to be a member of Wealth Building Webinars. But when you sign up for the live call, it will give you the information if you want to become a member. You don't have to come on the live call. Okay, so go ahead and sign up for that. That is next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you, Nicole. She has put in the link for you to register for that webinar. And she's also put in the link to the blog for you as well. And we did get a couple of questions ahead of time, and Nicole just put one in for me, so into the comments. Nicole, I had also sent you a question from Marcus. Did you get my email with that question? And that was on the YouTube channel. That question was on our YouTube channel. So if you didn't get that from me, I think I sent it yesterday. If you didn't get that email from me yesterday, then look for the comments on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. But I did send you an email yesterday with a comment that was a question that I wanted to get to. Okay, in the meantime, I have a question from Nanda, who asked about final judgment on a vacant lot that she has a lien for in New Jersey. And just reading her question here. A lawyer mentioned a title company that might provide title insurance before the year is over. Will you suggest this? What is a title certification process? I could use guidance on being able to sell this lot. Thank you. Okay, so she's talking about foreclosure on a lot that she has a lien on in New Jersey. And I don't understand from the question if she already got final judgment or she's waiting for final judgment. Because it looks like it's past 3 months. And final judgments usually take a lot longer than that. I got to tell you that I had started foreclosure on a lien last year, and I just recently sold the lien as it was going through the foreclosure process. And I think they're finally going to get final judgment on it this month. And I will tell you, it takes close to a year for it actually to go through foreclosure in New Jersey and get final judgment. And you know, of course, that it depends on the situation. It's different for every property. And why is it different for every property? Because everybody has to be notified. So if there are a lot of people that need to be notified, it could take longer. Okay, it depends on the chain of title with the property. So so my guess is that so I'm not sure with this question whether you already received final judgment or you didn't get final judgment yet. I would wait to clear the title on the property until you get final judgment. Why? Because you don't actually own the property until you get final judgment and record the deed in your name. And then you can clear the title to the property. You can either use an attorney to do a quiet title, or you could use a company to do a title certification process. Depending on the state, how much it will cost depends on the state, on the attorney that you use, and whether you use an attorney or you use a title company to do the title certification. If you do a title certification process, it might cost more, but it'll be done faster. Okay, the companies that do that are experts in what they do, and they can do it quickly. You can sometimes get clear title to a property in 45 days. It will cost you a couple $1,000s, okay, minimum. Okay, I'm not sure what it costs for an attorney in New Jersey to do a quiet title process, but it will likely take longer to do that. Now, you could sell, the only reason that you want to clear the title is to get title insurance. Okay, you cannot get title insurance on the property until the title is clear. Okay, until you get a warranty deed and get clear title to the property. Then you can get title insurance. Now, clearing the title does not give you title insurance. You still have to pay for title insurance, but then you can get title insurance. And the only reason you would need title insurance is if somebody is purchasing the property and they're getting a mortgage. Now, if this is just a lot and it's land and it's $30,000 or under, there's not too many mortgage companies that are going to give somebody a mortgage for that amount. So you might just want to sell it on owner financing, and then you can work on clearing the title even as you're selling the property. You could take a down payment and then get paid over time and work on clearing the title during that time. And you don't even really have to, if nobody's getting a mortgage, you don't have to clear the title in order to sell it. But it will affect the price that you can demand, because whoever is buying it from you, if they are going to sell it to somebody else, or let's say they're going to build on it, and they're going to get a mortgage, a loan to build on it, then their mortgage company is going to want title insurance on the property, on the land. So you might have to sell it a little cheaper, and with them knowing that they are going to have to get the title certification and title insurance. So it just means that you can't charge top dollar for the property, a little bit less than market price. All right, and Nicole is looking for the question and Nicole, I will just find it and send it to you again. Let me find it in my sent items here. And while we're doing this, you guys that are coming on now, say hello and let me know, what are your questions for me? And let me know what state you're in and what questions you have for me today. Okay, and Nicole, I am looking through the emails that I sent you so I can find it, and it looks like it might have been the day before yesterday that I sent it. Yeah, here it is. I found it. And I am going to resend it to you. So that you could put this in the comments. All right. So hello, Jeanette. Hello, Diva. Okay. And Jeanette is in Texas, and I have a coaching client who just went to her first sale in Texas today. And actually, she didn't have to physically go. It was online. She put in a bid on a property in Dallas, and I'm waiting to see how she made out. Hey, Pamela, good to see you. So Pamela's question is, what state accepts credit card payments for the auction? I don't know that off the top of my head, Pam, and that's something that I go to like on a case-by-case basis. Like when I look into a sale, then I find out. That's one of the things you have to do when you're looking into a sale, find out what the proper form of payment is. And most do not accept credit cards, but some do. However, I will tell you, they will charge you for that. They will charge you extra to use your credit card. Now, what some do is they will have you use your credit card for the deposit, and they'll put a hold on your credit card for the deposit. But they might not accept payment in full from your credit card. They might expect a money wire. but they might do a hold on your credit card for the deposit. Some of the sales that are on bid for assets might do that. Those are typically deed sales that will do that. Okay, and Diva's asking, can you not get paid back if there is a lot of roll-up? And Diva, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Jeanette, you went to your first auction today in person. Auction, awesome. Where did you go, Jeanette? Which county did you go to? Oh, wow. Nicole, you're still not getting my email with the question. And so let me go get that question and put it in myself. And this, and you know, this question is related to Nandigan, but it's just about a different state. So let me put this in the comments so that you guys can see it as well. And this is from Marcus, who left this on YouTube. All right, so Diva was talking about many liens on a property underwater. And okay, so I need you to be more specific. You mean there are prior tax liens on a property, and if you add them all up, it's more than the property is worth? And did you already bid on this property, and what state is it? All right, is it in New York? And is it a tax lien or a tax deed? All right, so we have some other questions too. And Jeanette, you went to Henderson County. All right, so Jeanette, were you ready to bid? Did you bid? Did you bid on anything? Did you get anything, or were you just there to see what happens? Can you not get paid back? I don't, Dave, I still don't know what you're talking about. I need to know what state it is. It depends. That totally, I don't even know what you're talking about when you say, can you not get paid back? Once you buy a lien or deed, you cannot get paid back. You cannot get paid back. The only state that you might have a recourse in is Illinois. But as far as I know, you cannot get paid back. However, I'm not sure the specific example that you're talking about. So I really can't address that unless you give me a specific example. Is it that you bought a lien or deed in the sale and then found out it's underwater? If that's the case, you cannot get once you buy something, no, you cannot get your money back. However, if you bought a lien and there are prior liens on your lien or subsequent liens on your lien, it depends on if they are subsequent to yours or prior to yours. And it depends on the state. Because if I buy a lien, let's say I buy a lien in New Jersey and there's subsequent liens on, prior liens on there, but I buy a lien now and there are prior tax liens on it, but in 2 years I can foreclose, I don't have to pay those prior liens. I have to let them know that I'm foreclosing and they have the ability to redeem me, but if they don't, I get to foreclose and I don't have to worry about them. So it just, I need specifics. Like that question is just too general. All right, so Jeanette, you were just there to observe. And what did you find out? What did you find out about it? Okay, so this is liens, and that's another thing I needed to know, whether you're talking about a lien or deed. Once you buy a deed, that's it. You cannot get your money back. For a lien, no, you cannot get your money back, but you can walk away. You can, so let's say you buy a lien for maybe a couple $1,000 and then discover that you made a mistake. Well, you lost that couple $1,000. You won't get that back unless the lien redeems, but you can walk away and not have any other repercussions. You don't have anything to do with the property. You don't own the property. Nobody can come after you for anything, but you would have lost the money that you paid for the lien. If there are subsequent liens after yours, that depends, again, that depends on the state. So guys, bring me your specific questions. All right, let's see. All right, so the question that I got on YouTube was about South Carolina. How long does it take to receive a quiet deed after the redemption period is over on a property that I paid the taxes on in South Carolina? Well, here's how it works in South Carolina. You buy the property at the sale, but you're not buying the property, okay? You're buying a redeemable deed. You have to wait a year and then you can get the deed, okay? You have to wait a year. And can you add homeowner's insurance on a property once you receive the tax certificate on a property in South Carolina? No, you have to clear the title first. You have to clear the title and then you can get, oh, actually, I'm sorry, I take that back. Yes, you could get homeowner's insurance on it as soon as the deed is in your name. Not when you receive the tax certificate though. You have to wait a year, get the deed, record the deed, and then you can get homeowner's insurance. What you can't get is title insurance until you clear the title on the property. Okay. Let's see what else we get. Okay, so Jeanette said where she went in Texas, bids were higher than I expected, close to the property value and more on a few. All right, let me ask you this, Jeanette. Did you take note of what type of properties were not bid as competitively as others? In other words, if there were building lots, vacant land, were they bid as competitively as single-family houses? Commercial properties, industrial properties, were they bid as competitively as single-family houses? What do I think about bidding in Baltimore? Baltimore, again, you got to be more specific. Baltimore City or Baltimore County? Two different places. Baltimore City or Baltimore County? Okay, Pam, have you ever used tax lien services for the tax lien certification? Yeah, you mean tax title services, Pamela? I don't know tax lien services, but I do know of tax title services. Baltimore City, no, I do not like Baltimore City. I would not invest there. Too much red tape. Too much crime. I'd have to really know it. I don't know it well enough at all. I don't know Baltimore City at all, so I would not invest there. If I knew Baltimore City and I knew the people who worked in Baltimore City, then I would invest because it's very hard to get anything done there, from what I understand. A lot of red tape. And some corruption, right? So I would, I have a course on Maryland tax sales, as a matter of fact. And Nicole, can you find the link for the course on the Maryland tax sale training? I believe it's a $497 course if you're interested. And in that course, I had a couple of investors that are from Maryland actually do some of the training with me, and they recommended against doing anything in Baltimore City. And these are investors who invest in the area, okay? Real estate investors. Yeah, so but Baltimore County is okay. Baltimore County is a good place to invest. Baltimore City is not. Okay, Jeanette said, I wasn't prepared and hadn't done any prior research, but I did take notes during the auction and will look up the properties. So I'll know. Very good. Yeah, that is what I would recommend you do, Jeanette. And Nicole has put in the link for the Maryland tax sale training. Maryland online tax sale. So if you're interested, you could get that training now. The sale happens in May and June, or the sales that are online. And I do update it with the dates of the sales as that season comes up. I believe it was updated this year back in May and June. And it will be updated again. Okay, so here is what I suggest for you guys. You guys that have a lot of specific and general questions. I really recommend that you become members of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, because you get so much training from me and tools. Now, you don't get that, the Done With You trainings. I have 3 Done With You trainings, one on Maryland, one on Indiana, and what's the other one on? I forget what the other one is on. Nicole, what is the other Done With You training that we have? I know we have Indiana, Maryland, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what the other one is that we have, but we have 3 Done With You trainings, and these are trainings that are between Arizona, thank you, Arizona training. These are trainings that I do while the tax sales are going on, and they span like 4 to 6 weeks, and they're $497 trainings. These do not come with the membership in the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. However, members do get a big discount on them. But what does come with membership to the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator are all the workshops that I do and a lot of my courses, including my Buying Tax Liens online course, my online tax deed course. And there's a whole host of workshops that come in the members area. And on top of that, you also get access to tax sale finders that lets you find out what tax sales are coming up across the country and lets you look at the properties in the sale. You get 15 property reports a month. Now, my coaching clients get 50 property reports a month plus coaching from me. But the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator gives you all the training. It doesn't give you coaching with me, but it gives you all the training except for the Done With You courses. But it gives you my other courses. It gives you all my workshops that I do. I do a few of them a year. And also the masterclass. We just did a masterclass on evaluating tax sale properties. That is also free for members of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. Now, it's $165 a month to be a member, but when you pay for the year, you actually get 3 months free. You get 3 months free, and you get a coaching session with me. So I highly recommend the yearly membership, and Nicole has put in the link for you. It's taxlienlady.com/membership. Okay, we have another question from Pam. Why does PA take so long to update the court records? Tax liens are still open after the tax sale in July. I won 3 properties. Yeah, because the it's the Tax Claim Bureau that does that, and they get all backed up with tax sales during the tax sale season. So yeah, it does take them a long time to do that. And then once you buy at the sale, it has to be recorded. So until your deed is recorded, that's what's going to show, in the court records. Okay, but that's great, Pamela, that you won 3 properties at the tax sale. Yeah, good job. Good job. Congratulations. So now what you have to do is what happens, I know what happens in Monroe County. I don't know what county that you went to, but what normally happens is that at the sale, when you buy them, you pay the recording fee and you pay an auctioneer fee, whatever fees you pay, but you pay the recording fee. And then you will get the recorded deed sent to you, and that will take some time. Once you get that deed, okay, Allegheny County, was this online or was this live, Pam? Was this online or was this live? Because then what happens, once you get the deed, then you have the same challenge that everybody else has, is that you have to clear the title to the property. Okay, you received all 3 deeds. All right, fine. So, and they're recorded. They should be recorded. And so now what is your goal to do with those properties? Are you going to sell them? Are you going to hold on to them? What are you doing with those properties? Oh, it was online. Okay. Sale, you're going to sell them. Okay, so you will want to clear the title to those properties. And you could use tax title services to clear the title. And it will probably cost you a couple thousand each property to do that. Or you could get an attorney to do a quiet title. It will cost less, but it will take longer. If you use tax title services, they could do it in 45 days. If you use an attorney, it could take like 6 months to a year, but it will be like half the price, less than half the price. So it just depends on what your end game is and how soon you want to sell it. Now, if any of them are land, even if they're not land, you could always sell them on owner financing. Okay. Hey, Ray, good to see you. Good to see you here. All right, so Nicole has already put in the link to find out more about the membership at taxlienlady.com/membership. I highly recommend the year membership because you're really only paying for 9 months and you get 3 months free, and you get a coaching session with me. All right. Now, if you're not sure if it's right for you and you'd like to talk to me, and then I suggest that you fill in the form at taxlienlady.com/mentoring-application and get on my calendar. Okay. Jordan Services. I've not heard of Jordan Services. And they say 30 days. How much are they charging? Because if they can do it in 30 days, that's pretty good. But I've never heard of them. And Diva is asking, why is tax title services faster? They have, now here's the thing, let me just clarify. When you clear the title, you're not getting title insurance. You're allowing to be able to get title insurance. So you still have to get title insurance after you clear the title, okay? And tax title services has companies they work with that will insure for them. Not all insurance companies are going to recognize properties that just went through a tax sale. All right, but tax title services have companies that work with them. They do this a lot. They have attorneys that really know what they're doing, and they can do it faster. There's no urgency, for your regular real estate attorney, there's no like sense of urgency for them to do it, and things are backed up in the courts. Okay. Yeah, Pamela, how much does Jordan Services charge? Because 30 days is really fast. 30 days, and you got to let me know if they can really do it in 30 days, because that's the first I've heard about anybody doing it that fast. Okay, so any other questions? You guys have any other questions for me? I want to thank you for coming to today's Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live. Thank you for your questions. And if you guys have, more in-depth questions and you want some more guidance, definitely the way to get it is to become a member, because you'll get, if you're a yearly member, you get access to all my courses and you get a coaching session with me. Okay, and Nicole has put that link in there. And don't forget, sign up for the webinar next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And Nicole, you could put that link in there to register. It's free to come to the call. It's all about, well, we have a special guest who I call the millionaire maker, because that's what he does. He makes millionaires. So you definitely want to be there for that. And Nicole has put that link in there. Jeanette, you're welcome. Deva, what does it mean to pass a perk test? Okay, for you guys that live in the city, you don't understand this. But if you live out here in the country, we do not have sewers. We have septic systems. And if you need a septic system, your property has to pass a perk test in order to have a septic system. It's a test to see if the land will perk, if the water will drain, So if it doesn't, you have to get a special septic system or you can't build, right? And it costs a lot more money. So for Pamela, if or anybody that has bought deeds and they are land, that's something that you'll have to do before you build. If you have bought deeds out here in Pennsylvania where it's more rural and there's no public sewer, before anybody can build on those properties, they will have to have a good perk test. Yeah, that's one of the things you have to worry about out here. Oh, Pamela says there are third parties that handle Allegheny delinquent city and county taxes. Yeah, that's why it's taking 3 months or longer. Usually it's the tax claim bureau, but sometimes it's a law firm. And yeah, that's why it's taken so long. Okay. All right, guys. So if we have no more questions, I'm going to end today's Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live. I will be doing trainings in here at 9:30 in the morning tomorrow morning and Thursday morning. Okay. And so let me know if there's things that you would like to see, 10 or 20 minute, 10 to 20 minute training on in the morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And yes, and you're welcome. Why can't the counties do the notifications? I'm not sure what you mean. You've got to be, when you guys ask questions in the comments, I need you to be really specific. Really specific. Because the counties do the notifications if you're talking about when a property goes into the tax sale, they do the notifications. Now, if you bought in the upset sale, not everybody's been notified yet. It's after the upset sale is over and it's scheduled for the judicial sale that they notify everybody. And that's why if you buy it in the judicial sale, you don't have to worry about any liens or judgments on the property. But if you buy it in the upset sale, you do have to, like if there's a mortgage on the property you buy in the upset sale, that mortgage doesn't go away. You are responsible for it. You're the new owner, you're responsible for it. All right, so all the parties get notified between the upset and the judicial. And one thing that I teach my clients how to do is how to check for notifications before they buy. Because if you buy in the judicial sale and one of the lien holders was not notified, they could come back and they have to go to court and prove it, but they have to say, we were not notified and the property was not supposed to be sold, therefore we're buying it back. They can do that. You won't lose your money, but you will lose the property. Yeah. Yeah, this is all, Diva, this all pertains to Pennsylvania only, by the way. What we're talking about pertains to Pennsylvania only. Okay, so again, you guys that have a lot of questions and you want a lot of answers, join the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. We also have a Facebook group where you can ask me questions there. There's a private Facebook group just for members. And you get all my courses, which have a lot of that information in there, okay? All right, guys, I will see you guys at 9:30 in the morning tomorrow and Thursday. And next Tuesday, I will be here. And it will also be Monday at 9:30 in the morning. And next Tuesday, I'll be here at 2 o'clock to answer your questions. All right, have a wonderful day.